What's up, guys? I just wanted to jump on here and talk about Bitconnect really briefly. For those of you who don't know, Bitconnect basically stopped their lending program, and a lot of people that weren't in Bitconnect, that were haters of Bitconnect, that saw it for what it to most people clearly was a Ponzi scheme, an unsustainable model, and something that really wasn't what they said it was. Um, a lot of those people are celebrating and saying, I told you so, and kind of applauding or taking shots and celebrating this thing that was pretty inevitable, that we all pretty much thought was going to happen. Just 4 days ago, I posted my video, 7 things that nobody tells you to expect in Bitcoin before you get into the sphere. And number 5 was scams. And I specifically talked about Bitconnect and how it just hasn't crashed and burned yet. And yesterday we saw it crashed and burned. For those of you who don't know, it was like a lending program where you would essentially send them Bitcoin and you would buy the BCC token, and then you would stake the BCC token so that as Bitcoin went up in value, they're basically holding your Bitcoin, and you had to hold those stakes for something like almost a year, like 200 to 300 days. And every day you would get a certain percentage based on like some like arbitrage algorithm that they never really actually showed. It would just, in my opinion, didn't exist. And they were just basically giving you profits, and you could compound that interest. Most of the people that were in it just kept reinvesting and kept investing more and more and more money because they actually did see returns of 1 or 2% and so on and so forth. And they thought that they were going to change the world. Plenty of YouTube advertisers, plenty of people working on that whole referral kind of Ponzi scheme as well, just showing people their Bitcoin accounts, showing how much Bitcoin they have and how much they're lending, and basically just showing off and getting all these people to sign up under them, and with kind of the false promise that they too would become rich if they poured their poured their Bitcoin into this program, and just kept staking and staking and watching this compound interest model that just it just couldn't work for everybody. And I think that if you put just a few minutes of research into it, you would realize that from the start it was just a scheme, and the top would get rich and the bottom, the latecomers, would be the ones to be screwed over. And that's pretty much exactly what happened. Um, BitConnect gave out they basically said all the stakes are over. Here's all your BitConnect tokens back. We're out. They got a couple cease and desist letters, and they were getting attacked by hackers and just negative press. So they just decided to pull the plug. And while it's great that they gave the BitConnect tokens back or whatever, you can see here the price just crashed. So regardless of them giving it back, everybody lost a ton of money that were heavily invested in this. So that's the basic overview of what happened if you aren't aware. And again, I just want to encourage you, if you were not a part of this, if you were just telling people how stupid they were to be in it, and now you are correct, it's great. And you should celebrate the fact that you made the right decision, that you didn't, you did your research, you saw this for what it was, and you didn't put your money in. But just stop with the I told you so's, and stop kind of harassing the people that did lose a ton of money, because I feel for you if you were invested in this, or if you thought that this was going to somehow change your life. I get it. But I think as a community as a whole, we need to kind of stick together, try to educate each other in a positive way, not like spreading hate or spreading kind of like this satisfaction that you did well, they didn't do well. It all adds to this feeling of FOMO, where we just want the other thing to not work. If Ripple's going off and we don't have any Ripple, we feel like a loss because we missed that opportunity. And I think so often we are focused on the things that are outside of us, not our own successes, but the potential gains that we're missing out on. And we need to focus more on our own due diligence, our own research, and our own kind of thesis, our own approach to this whole revolution, and finding our own paths rather than worrying about other people and wanting to see other people crash and burn. Because if you're in cryptocurrency and you believe in it, it's really hard when even today I had to have a bunch of debates with people that I just don't feel like getting into anymore, where people call Bitcoin itself or cryptocurrency itself a Ponzi scheme. They refer to it as a bubble that can mean a whole bunch of different things. Usually, they don't know what that means. They refer to the tulip thing. It's just annoying to have to make the same kind of arguments and the same defense for Bitcoin, for cryptocurrency all of the time to people who don't know, that haven't put the research in, that haven't put the time in to actually look into the technology, look into blockchain technology itself, or what any of these projects are trying to do. It's really annoying when those people don't know what they're talking about. They just think it's like this some scheme, and they don't want to put the time in to do the research. And those are the people that aren't a part of it, that have this kind of FOMO, that are feeling the same way that you might be feeling towards the people that were into Bitconnect. You want to see it fail. They want to see Bitcoin fail. And as a result, they want to see you lose your money and be able to tell you, I told you so. So when things like this happen, not only does it kind of divide us as a community, um, but it also adds this new thing that we now have to defend. Even if you were not a part of Bitconnect, and you did, see it as for what it was, now those people that are outside of the crypto sphere have a new piece of evidence that they can point to show you that it's a Ponzi scheme. And now you have to explain to them that no, this was a different thing, that this was like all just literally a Ponzi scheme, but Bitcoin isn't and cryptocurrency isn't, just because it's increasing in price exponentially. Now you have to argue against that, and that is annoying as well. So I think we all knew that BitConnect and some of these lending programs are a scam, or they're just an unsustainable thing where a lot of people are going to lose money. But now you have to, especially now that this is going to be in the news, and this is going to be just something for people to write articles about and just say, hey, this is why Bitcoin is a scam, etc. It's something that you now have to defend yourself. And that's kind of annoying too. So just be kind to the people that maybe were a part of this and realize that they probably did lose a lot of money. They're feeling sad, and well, maybe they'll they'll go into Bitconnect X, because Bitconnect's still, I think, going forward with their new ICO. Maybe they knew that this was coming. Maybe they knew that they couldn't sustain a Bitcoin crash or a cryptocurrency big correction. So this was maybe their next play. Who knows? But even if you weren't involved in Bitconnect, or even if you didn't hear about Bitconnect until this video, I think there's a few lessons we can learn from what just went down. Most notably, that you really have to watch who you trust. Anybody with a camera like me can just record a video and upload my opinion about something. And when people are shilling out this new ICO or this lending program that's going to guarantee you profits, they're showing you how much money they made. Usually they have an agenda, and that agenda usually doesn't bring you into account. Like, they just want to make money for themselves. So do research and look for a reason to not invest in something. Make yourself have to prove to yourself why you want to put your hard-earned money, your hard-earned Bitcoin into anything, any ICO, anything that's sold or traded on Binance or any other exchange. Do your research, find out what the project is. I say this over and over again, but it's so important to do that own research so that you do have convictions when you do invest that money into it, and that you can hold when the market goes crazy. And you can rely on those convictions and that research that you put in. And just a few minutes of research can easily show you, or give you the instincts to show you that there are no guarantees in cryptocurrency. And when anybody tells you that there are guaranteed returns, like Bitconnect promised, like a lot of these other lending programs promise, they're lying. There is no guarantee, and anybody that tells you that should, in my opinion, not be trusted. You can always lose money in crypto. Crazy swings can happen, and you just have to put in your research, and especially not trust somebody who tells you it's guaranteed profits. think that's a huge red flag. And lastly, the most important lesson, and the lesson that I'm trying to convey to you, is to not root for negative things for other people. Having that type of kind of negative attitude for somebody else to fail, it still gives you negative feelings. And you should be looking towards your own positive experience. And you should hope that other people have positive experiences too. And if you see them investing in something that very clearly seems to be a Ponzi scheme, encourage them to educate themselves or try to educate them in a kind way, in an open way, um, not one where you're like, you're an idiot if you invest in this because it's clearly a Ponzi scheme. I think a lot of people knew that Bitconnect was a Ponzi scheme, that it was shady, but they just went for the gamble anyway. And I mean, it's their money. You can do whatever you want with your money. None of this is financial advice, and you shouldn't take financial advice from anybody else. But when somebody does try to give you advice to, really look into BitConnect, like, can they really guarantee profits? Like, what's going to happen if Bitcoin crashes? Um, how can everybody become a billionaire? And then if they continue their investment, become a trillionaire? Like, clearly unsustainable models. Just try to help to educate people and be a positive force in this sphere, because we all need to be positive with each other. We all need to be supportive of each other and kind of grow as a community, as opposed to, you know, we have enough of a fight against the other people, all the crypto haters, all the people that want to see it crash and burn, that we don't need to do that with each other. And also, we just need to try to, since we are decentralized, and that's the whole goal of cryptocurrency, to work with each other to try to protect that decentralization, to show that we don't need a government authority or a mommy or a daddy to help us to see that an investment is a scheme to try to take our money. We need to work together as a community and be a positive force to other people, and not be the "I told you so" guys and girls. So that's just my kind of rant for today. I'm so sorry if you lost money from BitConnect, but try to treat it as a lesson, as a learning experience, so that you don't make the same mistake moving forward. And just be very wary if you're looking into something like Bitconnect X or any of these other various lending programs that promise you guaranteed returns. There are no guarantees in crypto, and just be careful and hang in there in these kind of trying times, and we will get through this together. But that's it for me for today. Hopefully you didn't get too burned. Hopefully you're holding strong in this down market, but just hang in there. And remember that you suck at Bitcoin, and so do I, but that doesn't mean we can't make a ton of money together. So let's do it, guys. Bye.